Brambra back with some Grand Tactician Civil War, our USA campaign on very hard, very high difficulty and aggression. Okay, so our last episode was mainly just some campaign map stuff. I don't think there was a battle. I look to rectify that here in the near future in this episode. A quick look at kind of the bird's eye view here. This is the front line map, and we can see that we've made significant inroads into Virginia. We did capture Richmond, the Confederate capital, in the last episode. And we're extending some control here up in the Appalachians, having taken Knoxville as well. And for now, this army, well, I don't want to get down to that level yet. We're doing good in Tennessee. We do have an army here, a little pocket of resistance that I'll talk about in a moment. While I'm still up here on the main, national level map, let's take a quick look at state support. And this is what it looks like. Because of what we've done in Virginia and Tennessee, Confederate support is quite low in these two states. That's important. These are two of the more populous states in the Confederacy, and that very low state support that they've got has got to be having a pretty huge impact on their volunteer manpower, which I have remarked a few times earlier in this campaign. Yeah, these Confederates don't seem to be really matching us too much in a lot of ways, and well, that could be a big reason why the Confederate, they have less than 100,000 men. Now, a lot of that's casualties. And I think a big part of that, too, is AI choice in policies. So there's a little bit of randomness to that because they have not yet taken military too, which is a big piece of opening up the floodgates on volunteers. And I could be wrong, and I can't go back and look now. I mean, I guess I could if I went back and looked at every moment of every episode. But even then, I have fast-forwarded off camera a little bit. I don't think they've taken the Militia Act 4 either. So maybe just kind of AI bad choices in policy selection could be a reason why they're doing so, they're way behind in recruited manpower, which I completely did not expect on very hard, very high. The tooltip, when you look at the difficulties, does say the AI will be more aggressive in recruiting. And they haven't been. But I think, the policy selection, to some extent, the casualties so far, although, we're here almost a year into the war, and the overall casualty levels, I think, are still fairly low, for May 1862. But the extremely low support that they must, and we don't know the exact number. It says in the window there that Union support in Virginia is 20%. And whether it's an exact, the two supports add up to 100, therefore it must be 80%. I don't think that, I don't know. That looks like an awfully pale shade of pink to reflect 80% Confederate support in Virginia. And then same thing in Tennessee. That's got to be affecting their recruiting a lot as well. I'm trying this time around to pay more attention to economic factors in formulating strategic and operational moves. And I've already talked a little bit about how there's some big weapons producing factories at Richmond and Knoxville, and then the iron for those factories at Nashville and Memphis. So I want to take that kind of thinking a little bit further a couple of things I've hardly ever paid attention to in any campaign are these workforce and slavery heat maps. And I still don't know what this is really telling me. But it would seem that wherever there are heavy concentrations of workforce, which I kind of read to imply free, white workforce, I got to think that where those areas are concentrated is where recruitable manpower for the armies is concentrated. And you kind of see, if you look at, if you flip back and forth between the slavery and workforce heat maps, the concentrations are in different areas. And I'm drawn a little bit to right here along this stretch of the Mississippi Valley in Arkansas and western Mississippi and northeast Louisiana. Big concentration of slave workforce here along the east side of it. And then a big concentration of workforce along the western side of it and down here into this little bit of Mississippi. I do not profess to be an expert in mid-19th century demographics and where exactly the plantations were, blah, blah. I don't know. Nor do I know really how slavery is implemented into the economics of this campaign for the CSA. I don't know. But these red blobs for workforce and slavery would seem to indicate to me that this area is a pretty important area over which to exert control. That's all I'm really getting at here. Okay, and then if you just kind of zoom in a little bit, we see there's a buttload of both farms and plantations all down through here. And the plantations are supplying cotton and tobacco and rice and sugar. And then the farms are providing, well, farm stuff, horses and forage and basically the raw materials that go into making the provisions for the army. So from a manpower perspective, from a supply perspective, and from a trade perspective on those cash crops from the plantations. Yeah, let's grab all this crap up. See how Jeff Davis likes that. Okay. So just a quick overview of kind of what we're doing. In Virginia, right now, Hancock is solidifying control on Richmond by building a couple forts. I have moved the HQ, McDowell, a little bit south to ensure that his command radius, and click it there, covers Petersburg. So when these forts are done, Hancock's going to hop across the river, the James River, and it's going to grab Petersburg and still be within reinforcement range of the other corps in the Army of the Potomac. To ensure that Hooker stays within McDowell's command radius, but is still in a position to respond to a Confederate move in the Shenandoah Valley, I'm just moving Hooker over to around the Manassas area. And then he can hop over on the railroad if he needs to, or he's on the road and rail network to head further south, whatever comes up later this year. And the Atlantic Army, I think, is just about ready to board ship and come down and do a little amphibious action down here and take Norfolk, including its fort. Matter of fact, I don't see any particular reason not to just go ahead and do that now. Still pause, but I can give the order. We'll just tell them to come here. And we pop on well, okay, that's going to tell him to come down here, but he'll get on he'll board ship at this little port. Well, I don't know what he's going to do, but what the hell? He's going there. Fine. Oh, I need to move his army HQ with him. Which means the army HQ will probably get there like weeks before the Corps does. All right, that's Virginia. Fourth Corps recently took Knoxville, had a little supply issue. He's got a supply depot built now. We've got a telegraph station being constructed, so I think the telegraph thing is about to get corrected for the Appalachian Army. And I'm kind of two minds about what to do with McClellan next. Part of me wants to run him back up the railroad and come over here and clean up the Shenandoah Valley so that the Army of the Potomac doesn't have to and can stay over on the east side of the Blue Ridge Mountains. That's one plan for McClellan. But then I'm also thinking keep moving down this way and have McClellan take Chattanooga and kind of secure this rail route down around through here, connecting Knoxville and Nashville. I kind of like that idea too, and I don't know which I'm going to do once this army corrects its food situation. He's got the flow now, right? He's coming back up, but he's still low, and he's still got his low food modifier. But anyway, so one of those two things is what McClellan's going to do next. Already talked a little bit. I think the long-term plan for the Mississippi Army is establishing control over this kind of lower Mississippi Valley. And to do that, I think taking control of the cities of Little Rock, Grenada, and finally Vicksburg. I think that's plenty of work for the Army of the Mississippi to do for the remainder of the 1862 campaign season. It's worth noting, you know, at the beginning of the campaign, left a couple forts over, built and have just left a couple forts up here guarding St. Louis. And armies are moving further and further away from being able to respond quickly to the Confederates moving up to St. Louis. But you know what? They haven't done crap this whole campaign. I don't particularly have any reason to think that they're going to do anything else. We've still got a little spy squadron here, and Western Army literally has not moved in a year. He's still sitting right where he starts. Now maybe the Missouri State Guard has done something since building the supply depot, but maybe he hasn't. Maybe he's just sitting there too. I do know that these infrastructure points up in here are still Union. And just the fact that Lebanon happens to be Confederate, I don't know if that's significant, because I think that's controlled by just Carrollton being Confederate. That doesn't necessarily mean that there's a Confederate army up in here somewhere. Doesn't mean there's not. Just, you get what I'm saying. And then over here in the west, you know, Papinsville's still Union. These farms, and that's indicating that nothing has come up in this direction either. Kind of wish this river was navigable so I could move this river on a little bit further up. I haven't actually tried it. Can he move up here? No. Okay. And then finally, I finally managed to remember and get this blockade squadron moving. So pretty soon, Pensacola Blockade will actually be blockading Pensacola and Apalachicola. Apalachicola. Whatever that is. Right. But the main thing I want to do for this episode is Polk's been sitting here over the winter, hasn't moved since the weather got better. He's not really threatening anything, you know, but I want to run him out of here because, A, his army is exerting control over this Cumberland Iron Works. I want to take that away from the Confederacy, as well as add it to our economy. And he's also messing with, he's got ownership by proximity of Bowling Green and Bowling Green's telegraph station, which is messing with our telegraph connection for Grant's army. And I was kind of waiting for, this is actually Steedman's army. Lyons is in command of the 5th Corps. I was waiting for them to finish these forts so that he could be free to move. And I'm kind of thinking, I'm going to move this army first. And I want to put the 5th Corps over here for now at Jackson. I think that's called Jackson. Is that Jackson? Yes. Because Polk may retreat even without fighting. Or, well, whether they fight or not, this should wind up with Polk trying to retreat. And so I hope that occurs after a battle. Because if he's in retreating mode, he will no longer be exerting control over Bowling Green, and he's going to look for a Confederate infrastructure point to which he can retreat. So if the Army of the Mississippi comes up here and flips Jackson Union, that will take Jackson away as a potential point for him to retreat to, leaving him, that's Union. Probably Sparta, I guess, would be his next best spot. Anyway, so that's kind of what's going on. Let's get time rolling. I did look through the weapons, and at the moment, this 3rd Corps, which is still the only corps in Grant's army, at the moment happens to be the best armed corps in the entire Union military. In the sense, mainly they're all about the same for infantry weapons. But I think this is the only corps right now that doesn't have any 6-pound field guns in its artillery. It's got 3-inch ordnance rifles, 3 battalions of those, and all of its smoothbore battalions are some form of 12-pound something. 12-pound field guns, 12-pound Napoleons. I think the 1st Corps in Army of the Potomac may be in the same situation. Okay, Jackson is now in Union. Let's get this corps moving. Chase Polk out of Clarksville. Meanwhile, I'm going to try to ease this. I was doing this before. I want to get the 2nd Corps close enough to besiege Fort Henry, but not besiege Fort Donelson. Because I want 7th Corps to come over and take Fort Donelson. May as well get him. There's some Mexico stuff. Talked about that before. We can move the 7th Corps down here. river monitors licking their wounds, repairing ships up at Cairo. At least I hope that's what they're doing. No, not close. Okay, here we go. We've got the Army of the Tennessee of about 26,000 men engaging Polk's army of about 17,000 men. He's willing to just do a siege warfare thing here, but I don't think we're going to do that. I think we're going to hop in here and we're going to fight Polk's army and run him out of Tennessee. Hopefully. Or at least a lot further away from Kentucky than he is now. So I'm going to hop in there, take a look at the map, set the forces up, and I'll be back. Right, okay, we are on the Stones River map, which makes sense for this central Tennessee area. The Battle of Clarksville. Last train to Clarksville. A little cultural reference there. Alright, it's a meeting situation, and there is one objective on the map here at the Round Forest. I think it's called the Round Forest. It is. And not owned by either side. The Confederate entry point is up here in the northwest, so it seems pretty clear. They're going to march right down the Nashville Turnpike toward Round Forest. We started in the southeast, and we're going to march right up through the town of Murfreesboro and right up the pike in the other direction to Round Forest. So where exactly we meet, who knows? I don't know. I don't really care about the objective. Its significance is really just to kind of predict what the AI is going to try to do. And so somewhere in this area is where we're going to meet them. So I have the Third Corps here in march order for coming up the road with a minimum of cohesion and fatigue loss. And I've got the two cavalry on either flank, and they're going to run up in here, and they'll probably be the first to get sight of Johnny Reb. So there's a little bit of marching to do here, and so I'm going to put a cut back in, and we'll be back when we see some rebels. Alright, so we've come up the pike and have caught sight of Polk's army. And they have stopped short. Actually, they didn't really stop at all because, are those? Okay, those are breastworks, not parapets. So they might have built them while we're marching, or they might have just started those in deployment phase. I don't know that I've ever really seen the AI build breastworks while the clock is running. Either way, here they are. This is their position. They did not go all the way to the objective. It is almost 6 o'clock in the afternoon, so there's not much time left today. I do not believe there will be any meaningful fighting today. And I think as soon as it gets dark, our deployment zone overnight is probably going to run... I bet the objective was within our zone. And so we're going to... I'll set up a position something like through here. And if we have possession of the objective, maybe we can entice Polk out of his breastworks. And that will probably be tomorrow morning on day 2 of the Battle of Clarksville. So I will come back when we reach that point. Okay, here we are. It's the morning of day 2 of the Battle of Clarksville. It is 6 o'clock in the morning. Still in deployment mode, so you can see where the limit was. I've moved up the Corps, Third Corps, and we've got Patterson's 3 Brigade Division, the 2nd Division in the middle. Gave him a few breastworks. I had this is all I had points for. I only had less than 5 engineering points, which is about worth 2 brigades worth of breastworks, no parapets, and we're zeroed out. Hunter's, I think this is the 1st Division over here on the left. He was still in march order when deployment, when time ended yesterday, and it will not let me put his division back in line. So I'm going to have to wait until time rolls to do that. I can put the individual brigades in line, but I'm a little concerned that that will mess up his ability to give orders later. So I'm just going to go ahead and give him the order as soon as time starts rolling at the division level. As we've seen before, during deployment mode, you can move units and you can move divisions, but you can't actually move commanders with the Alt function. So Reynolds and Grant are still back here, but they've got orders to come up closer to their units. We've got the 3rd Division under Hurlbut over here on our right. And I took the smooth bore battalions, detached them, and they're in spots kind of along the infantry line, supporting the infantry divisions. Cav are out on the flanks, and the 3 rifled battalions aren't much further back. There's a lot of woods. I didn't really find a good spot to put them. So they're kind of in here, and I think they've got okay. It's real well. No, I mean they're not able to hit the main position very well where they are. I just couldn't find a better spot for them. I think they'll be able to hit this area right in here at least at the beginning. My hope is that as soon as time starts rolling, we will take ownership of Round Forest, and I'm kind of hoping that that goads the Confederates into attacking rather than sitting there. And I think what we're going to see is that they eventually will. But it won't be immediate. I've seen this in a couple battles before, and anyone who's watched my previous campaigns may have seen a couple battles like this, where we take the objective, it doesn't appear to have an effect. Like it takes time for the AI decision making to catch up to that. You know, and then I would get to a point where I say, well, they're not doing anything, so I guess I'm going to have to attack after all. And then they start moving, like several game hours later. So I'm going to try to be pretty patient here. We've got all day, and we've got all of day 3. And I'm not going to run through all that on 1x speed. So we'll just see what happens here. But for now, let's get time rolling on the Battle of Clarksville. Okay, Hunter. It's still not giving me the option to fix his division formation. Is that my guns or his guns? No, that is my guns. This one smooth bore. Okay, well, at least he's getting some good work in against this Cav Brigade, which is already wavering. Let's go ahead and move these guys up a little bit. I don't want that artillery taking all the fire. No. We're out of Reynolds' command range there because he's still moving up. I should have done that by brigade. Which means we've also got order delay. And now if I give brigade orders, then later the order will get there and that'll confuse them on whether... I'm just going to leave that alone. Kind of mentioned this in an earlier episode about infantry firing range and how it's a pretty common practice, certainly my common practice, to kind of put everybody on long range and then get irritated when they don't do it. And I'm just going to play this battle without giving range orders and see if the AI commanders are, just see how they do with ordering firing ranges. Got initiative turned on. I don't have any like Hall rifles or Sharps rifles or Mississippis in this army. They're all 7 brigades are just standard Springfields or Infields. Okay, Hunter, you ready to know? I guess you have to give a divisional formation order. I guess you have to be within the command range of the Corps commander. I knew that was true for things like advance and fallback and crap like that. I didn't know that that pertained to formation orders as well, but it makes sense. I'm not saying I'm surprised by it. It just didn't come up before, I guess. Okay, these guys have moved up. I don't know if they're going to stay in them, but, you know, for now. Just have these guys build some breastworks. Gets them some XP. Again, my hope is that the Confederacy eventually just attacks into us. I don't want them to block line of sight of that artillery. So let's try that. Hunter, you're killing me, bro. Why can't I... Let's bring Reynolds a little closer. Maybe the actual units have to be within the command radius as well. I'm going to move 10th Cav a little bit over this way. It looks like there may, not now, looks like there may eventually be an opportunity for him to cause some mischief back over here. I know we don't have to be within bugle range to do a stupid formation order. This is kind of confusing me here. I mean, the units and the commander are now well within the Corps commander's command range. Can it be because Reynolds is moving? And that impacts his staff's ability to put the stupid orders together? It can't be right. It seems like I would have seen that before. Oh, these guys are wavering for some stupid reason. Oh, they've taken 86 losses. Let's have him dismount. The respective morale are... Actually, we're a little bit lower, but not by much. I think that's primarily because we're fighting in Tennessee. We're wavering, but so is this rebel cav, so... Andy's now fatigued. I think as soon as we get in position here and these guys start firing, we should be able to break this guy pretty quickly. That's my hope. There we go. Get those Sharps carbines working. I mentioned before about how I had better artillery, and both cav brigades in this army have the Sharps carbines. These guys are taking artillery fire from the flank. Up against Sharps carbines, ready to fire in their front. Looks like they're pulling back a little bit. Maybe. Oh, here we go. At least one brigade's like, screw this, I'm coming out. Fire right on that guy, D-Bat. If you can. I mentioned earlier that I'd fiddled with the unit prefs, trying to make the artillery a little more visible. It's not helping here that much. Jeez, how can you not see and fire at that guy? What are you firing at? Don't know. Okay, that cavalry brigade is broken. Nice job, 10th Cav. A little help from E-Bat. Okay, now, are these guys taking artillery? Nope, they're not taking artillery fire. 400 casualties, and Stewart's brigade. Almost 200 in 10th Cav. I don't think those are all combat losses. What is this? 6th Division. Oh, that's the wrong. Yeah. He's taken about 70 losses from combat. Started the engagement with 100 already missing. And that's, I'm pretty sure that's from the overnight deployment phase. You get some attrition running during that time. There's probably, well, let's just, how does it look for the whole army? For 3rd Corps, total, only a little over 300. So for some reason, disproportionately weighted in that one Cav brigade. All right. Okay, well this brigade came across before Mitchell was able to finish his breastworks. Still working on him, but he is firing on this brigade, so keep it going. Also looks like that was purely one commander's initiative. That's, I don't think the whole, well, there's some more movement back in here. Okay, McNair's brigade is coming out of the works. So he may be in the same division as Jones. And that's a division that's coming out. And as usual, headquarters staff seem pretty immune. I'll just waltz right on through your line here. French. And these routing cav will probably do the same thing. Alright. Well, let's get this artillery rotated back around. Sixth Brigade has taken, oh, wrong, 200 losses. The Confederate. Again, there could be some attrition in there. I should have put skirmishers out while these guys were building breastworks. That was dumb. Specifically for this scenario. I guess I can still do that, although I don't know if they'll move out in front now. Jones's brigade is too close. It may not even let me put skirms out at all. Yeah, it's too close and won't let me put pickets out. Kind of messed that up. Notice how on his own initiative he did go ahead and switch to long range. Don't mind us. Just routing cavalry coming through. Technically, it puts these guys in melee, but they didn't take any losses from that. Okay, I'm going to ease this cavalry, artillery battery, 12-pounder Napoleons. Something like this. He's close enough. I don't think I really need to limber him up for that. Are you firing? Yeah, okay. These guys are firing at this brigade now. Okay, 6th Brigade has now got breastwork cover. And he's got a full brigade's worth of firepower on Jones, who's now taking more casualties. Good stuff. I can get Wallace's skirms like out here somewhere. Yeah, they're not moving. I'm just going to pull these skirms in. They're not doing anything productive. Ebat firing again. I don't know at what. I don't think he's firing at Jones. Turn that sound down a little bit. Meanwhile, Can I get Hunter into line? I cannot. Don't know what's up with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give him a little movement order, and that may kind of like reset him somehow. Are these guys firing at anything? Doesn't look like it. Blocked by the woods. Fifth Brigade over here, just close enough to deliver some flanking fire. And then I'll just move Burnside up into his breastwork position. I'm not even seeing order delays coming from Reynolds. Something's not right with this division. I'm going to see what happens if I just put... Okay, they respond to that. The individual brigades do. Okay, so let's just tell Paul to kind of come over this way. Leave Meade where he is for now. Okay, Jones is pulling back. Mitchell took a lot of casualties there. See if I can get him up actually in his breastwork for green quality cover. Okay. Well, so we had one little attack there. Nair didn't really do anything. There's another brigade in here. That I can't quite see who it is. Buckner. They're out in front of the works for some reason. Okay. Just pull McCook back to not impede the firing cone of this battalion. Just pull him back into the kind of a reserve spot right here. Okay, so a few more Confederate brigades have come out. They want to attack our right a little bit more. We've got McNair and Buckner did finally start moving. I did put some skirms out, so just engaging our skirmishers for right now. I still have not had any success in getting Hunter's division to respond. I got him to change the formation, but I can't even get him to respond to division level movement orders. So for whatever reason, these two brigades are just sitting here in line, and I can't get them to do anything. I hope that doesn't wind up being a problem. Sometimes you see the guns firing while it says idle. I don't understand why that happens. Both of these batteries, I think, are finding targets. Yeah, this guy's even shooting at the guy I want to be shot at. Now that firing cone is showing up pretty nice. Okay, Mitchell's pickets are getting a little toasty. I'm going to go ahead and pull them in. I guess he's not in vision, but for a second there we saw this HQ with a feud symbol. So maybe that explains why this division, there we go, is feuding with Polk, so maybe that's why this division has come out and the other ones haven't. Okay, Wallace is starting to take some fire. Well, they're not really giving him too many casualties yet. That battery's got a good target. He's taking fire though. Get these pickets to rotate just enough where they're not getting that flanking debuff, or flanked debuff. Yeah, a little bit. Okay. Move this division commander up a little bit closer. Hurlbut. Stewart's out here in front. Follow me! And they're like, I don't think so. Let's give the three rifle battalions, let's give them a counter battery. And maybe they'll focus on this battery up in here. What's Mitchell doing? okay for now. Okay, we're at 1,700 to 1,000 now. So that casualty gap is starting to open up. And looks like we've got more brigades coming across, at least one brigade coming across here. Dunavant, Tennessee State Militia, Zollicoffer. They may just be manning breastworks, I don't know. Dunavant's up to something. Okay. The battery's well placed to do some work, to the extent that artillery does much in Grand Tactician Civil War compared to some other games. Okay. So now I'm actually getting an order delay from Reynolds to Hunter. So maybe this will clear his... Aha. Okay. He had some kind of unexecuted order thing going on, I guess. But let me just put these guys into line, and they may flip around or change places, or who knows what they're going to do, but at least they're responsive again at the divisional level. These boys still dismounted. It looks like they are not. Kind of looks like he might be able to come down here and deliver some flanking fire from across the river. Still waiting for that order to get there. Okay. Just got the order and now... Alright, that's good. Okay, I'm going to dismount this cav. Go ahead and move the division commander up a little bit. He's taking 800 casualties. Don't want him to break, don't want him to lose more dudes. I'm just going to have him fall back. And Wallace needs to start carrying the load here. Just going to rotate him a little bit. He should stay in some cover rotating. It won't be green, but he's still got yellow. Dismounted now. That should be close enough where the Sharp's carbines are in range. 2,200 to 1,300. Not quite 2 to 1. Bat has picked up a star. There were 2 brigades here. Did one break and fall back and I didn't even catch it? Wallace has gone to long range of his own accord. Our flanking cav is moving forward, dismounted. Going to put these 3 units in a heck of a fix. They'll be flanked from almost 90-degree angle no matter which way they turn. I just hope the cav doesn't break in the process of doing this. He's already wavering. Pretty bold artillery battalion there. I guess he's coming up there to try to put some canister into Wallace. Okay, cavalry's coming into play now. It needs to be a little bit closer, really. Yeah, it's not working out too good for that artillery battalion. Okay, now, these fellas, now is the time for Patterson to come forward. I'm going to do it brigade by brigade, though. Because I already gave some brigade orders and I kind of got them swapped around, so I don't know what's going to happen if I give a if I give a full line advance. And we'll move Hunter up on Patterson's flank a little bit here. Okay, Buckner got torn up pretty good. Oh, shit! Wallace broke. That's kind of surprising. 300 casualties, only 1 lost resilience? Ooh, I think Wallace is going to get defamed. And frankly, he may deserve to. Okay, I did not expect that to happen. So now Patterson's going to be... He doesn't have really an anvil there for his hammer attack into the flank of this force. And Mitchell's going to have to do what he can do over here. So at least try to get him into cover. run up there, or just, you know, march without. It was kind of surprising. Oh, that's bad news. Okay, they're going to have to back out of that, I think. That suddenly turned not in their favor. Wallace, what's up, man? You had a breastwork? You hadn't taken that many casualties yet? I think what probably happened is Manigault, he broke him, but he did get up there close, and I think he put some canister into Wallace and delivered the severe morale shock into him. That had to be, I don't know what else could have happened there. It seems to be the most likely scenario. McCook to something that So Runyon's been wounded, apparently. I missed that. That happened... Huh. That happened early. Missed that. Wilcox demoralized. Hurlbut demoralized. This is the Cav division commander. This is this division commander over here on the right. Mitchell himself, his brigade's still confident, not, still fighting. He's just about lost the end of his resilience, and he's low on ammo. Patterson's guys need to start carrying the load here. Which McCook is. And he waited till he was closer to deliver more effective fire. Okay, so that's going to cause these Confederate brigades some problems. Burnside is coming up. Hopefully he has a sense to go long range from this position. Hang tight, Mitchell. Okay, they're close to ordering a retreat. We're at 3,400 to 1,000 now. How's this battalion doing? He's taking a little bit more losses. He's still hammering away, I think. Says idle. I think he'll find some targets here shortly. There he goes. I use the charge order because I want him to get to this position quickly. He won't be firing while he's moving. Meanwhile, Burnside is firing on these retreating units, or soon to be retreating units. Okay, there we go. Okay, just kind of do a general advance in here. Still didn't move up to the assigned positions. There's still something wacky going on with that particular division. Let's get this cab over here. Looks like they're using the pike as their escape route. Up Johnson's 10th Cav. Okay. Okay, they've pretty much broken everybody. Nice job, Mitchell. I hope you... ooh, just a little sliver of resilience left. I hope Mitchell picks up the fame bonus there. He deserves it, but it'll be... If anyone gets it, it'll be some, like, random artillery guy or something. All right. Alright, Hunter. It's official. You suck. I'm just going to fast forward through this. We've got the major. See if we can get some gratuitous arty kills right here at the end. Okay, well, so overall that went fine. Little kind of hiccups in there. And the one kind of recalcitrant infantry division. And I don't think that was like an initiative thing. There was something just buggy there, I think. He lost about 5,000 men. We lost about 2,200. Lost a majority of his guns, not all of them. We lost very few. We did have a couple of that one battalion way over on the right. You know, he was banging away at pretty close range, pretty much that entire battle. I'm kind of curious. So, you know, kind of giving a battalion that kind of opportunity to fire away. Let's, for such an extended period of time, let's see how EBAT did. I think that was EBAT. Yes. Okay. EBAT 413 casualties. That's pretty good for artillery in this game. And DBAT, that must have been the battalion kind of in the middle of the line between 2nd and 3rd Division. He did 400. And A, B, and C were the 3-inch rifles. 132, 195, and 45. Almost 1,200 casualties overall from our artillery, which is not bad. It's about what? That's over 20% of the casualties inflicted. So part of that, I think, is at least some of the battalions got some decent shot opportunities. FBAT did not. They were way out there on the left, where, where nothing happened really. But I think part of that is just a good situation for some or even most of the battalions, but also because, as I said earlier, there's no 6-pound field guns in this artillery division anymore. I think that's probably a pretty big factor as well. Okay. So that's the Battle of Clarksville. Polk should be running south. We'll just, I'll forward the campaign map just enough to kind of see where Polk goes. I'm curious. Lost another point in their national morale. We had a point bump in military experience. Johnson has fallen in disgrace. I don't think that was the brigade commander. I think that was the Cav guy. And I don't think our Cav actually broke. Maybe I have two Johnsons. No, that was Wallace's infantry brigade that actually broke on the right. I don't remember seeing the 10th Cav rout. They were wavering the whole time, but I didn't see them rout. Oh well. I guess he must have. And he's not a bad commander. He hasn't had time to pick up the actual defamed icon yet. Okay. Alright, let's see where Polk goes. More Mexico stuff. Have fun, France. How's that going for you? Well, he's going north toward a Union infrastructure point. Let's follow him just to keep him in range, in vision. Is he taking a route all the way down this way? To Kingston or Athens? Well, we've lost sight of him, so who knows? He has to reach a Confederate-owned infrastructure point before he can come out of retreat mode. And so who knows where he's going to pop up. And we're not going to find out in this episode. If you like what I'm doing, leave a comment, leave a like, maybe even a sub. From time to time, I put in in-screen links to some other small channels that are doing some pretty nice Grand Tactician content. Guys like Worms and Warriors, I think. And J76NY and Lucky Luke. I don't think I have time to put them all in the end screen for this. Well, I'll try. Maybe I can. In any case, thank you very much for watching.